Hello and welcome to another episode of Baka Breakdown with your hosts Troy and Jason, the show where we take apart scenes of anime that we really love, take a look inside, and see what we can find. This week, we are digging through that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and of course, we're going to have spoilers. The reason I want to take a look at this particular scene is the later half of the first season seems to lose its way. And it just seemed really odd, and I just kind of wanted to dig in and see where things may have gone wrong, where things could have been changed, and maybe how we might be able to fix it. But anyways, here, take a look.
イングラシア王国の王とか。しばらくの間、俺がいなくても問題ないだろう。
So as we can see, Rimuru is leaving. We know that he's got this thing with the kids, but it seems at a really odd time. And even one of the characters really hits home. You leaving right now at the beginning of this brand new nation is a bad idea. If you die, this whole thing could be torn up from the roots. So, Troy, I wanted to get your thoughts because this feels odd placement for any story, that you would tear the main character away from this world building that you're creating. What do you think?
This scene, and especially this whole moment, this transition of we're heading down one way and then taking a swivel. And back in our podcast, Jeremy really called out that this is probably actually the main storyline we're about to jump onto, but they work so hard at this other storyline we've been on so long that we almost forgot it existed. And this is such a strong shift in direction that it really breaks all the momentum the story had.
I 100% agree. And I actually like that idea that this might be the main story. Unfortunately, as we know, again, I gave you a spoiler warning, this wraps up real fast. Before, like, right at the end of this season. So I was really thinking about this scene because we have the leader of this nation just taking off. I wanted to get your thoughts, like the perspective of, say, the ogres. We have some people that are attempting to heal from a tragedy that's just happened, and now they're being forced to live with the transgressors of that action. What do you think their thoughts are, or at least feelings, on their leader that's tying this entire community together just taking off?
I mean, there's two answers here. There's the answer of what it should be and the answer of what the story presents. I mean, they should be struggling with this, just like we've seen before in the first half of Ronga the wolf having his father murdered in front of his eyes and then eaten. And this is even to a much farther degree. These orcs that are living now in peace with the ogres, which is all well and good, but they were literally eating family and friends not too long ago, and all those transgressions are just forgotten and forgiven. There should be emotional trauma. We've seen horrid events in our own world past, and they take time to heal. They take, reparations. They take forgiveness. And sometimes forgiveness isn't given. But that's this anime is not interested in that. This anime gives us a 2-minute scene earlier where, hey, I'm sorry, you can kill me if you want. You know what? It's cool. We all follow the slime. This is a community that's all about the greater good, and there's literally no time for emotions or feelings within it.
How would you have felt if instead of, like, because in our main podcast, I had presented the idea that take this story of the children, put it at the beginning of a new season, and run with it for like a half a season. The flip side, what if the camera pulled away from Rimuru, let Rimuru go, and we get just flashes of him working with the kids here and there, but we are deep into the politics and the ramifications and the fallout of this nation growing together. Do you think that might have changed your opinion about the later half of this particular anime?
Well, then I think we have Overlord, which I do say mostly as a compliment. Yeah, I feel like, and I've said this before, I don't feel like this story has the courage to leave Rimuru and focus on anything else, despite how many characters they throw at us. I do think this is a good thing to do at the start of a season, but I also think it would have been fine to weave this in and just have characters react to it more than, hey, I just think this is a bad idea. Okay, you're gonna do it anyway. Yeah, that's fine. This was a major decision, and there should be echoes of consequences for that. And there's so many different ways you could present it and times you could focus on it, but what this anime always does is just not have any weight to any actions. So one thing I know, so usually when we have these discussions about the scenes, we talk about the themes, and one thing about this scene is it's almost completely mechanical. It pushes Rimuru towards a new goal, sets that up for him, gives us a quick look at where everyone is at within that. And these side characters give us a quick status update, and then send Rimuru on his way. And so much of this anime did scenes like this where it just didn't take time, like I said, to add weight to anything. Everything is a machine to push the story forward, and it really shows, and it really changes the quality of the storytelling.
In talking about the theme, he takes off after this scene to go deal with the kids. And then at the end of the anime, we see him taking off from the city where he dealt with the kids. But we don't see him return back to the city of Rimuru. Do you think the anime might have enough courage, if you will, to do something to where he comes back to, I don't know, destruction, civil war, some sort of revolution or upheaval?
I think there could be some major incident happening when he returns, but I have no doubt that it will somehow make him and his nation more powerful, and he will benefit from it completely within 15 minutes or so.
So I did want to go over one thing about the kids. And we went over it in our podcast. Maybe quickly you could go over what we think about the young girl that receives the mask from Rimuru.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jeremy both have the same theory that she is the hero. But I don't even think that's really much of a theory so much as the anime is putting big neon signs all around her, letting us know. We see flashes of the hero. Valdora reacts to her. She gets the hero's mask at the end. We're told the spirit that possesses her is from the future, so time travel is clearly involved now in this plot line, so that's not an issue. Yes, and even when the spirit that is going to possess her shows up, we get a flash of the hero that fought Valdora. It's telegraphing as hard as it can who this is. I have been wrong about who characters were in the past, though, so...
Again, the main reason I wanted to go over this one was I really felt there was a tonal shift from what we were being told in the world building that was happening. And then all of a sudden, all of that just doesn't matter anymore. Rimuru is a flat character arc, so he's nothing without his side characters. And to give us brand new characters for literally two episodes, or 3, well, 2.5. That montage doesn't count. It just felt like a really bad choice to me. Not just odd, but bad. It was a bad storytelling choice. And I was just hoping that in the next season, which this was a popular enough anime that they might get another season, that they can make some better choices, because this anime deserves a little better, especially if they go more of a comedy route, in my opinion. But any final thoughts, Troy?
No, I agree with what you said. Well put.
Thank you for coming with us on this breakdown. On our main podcast, we're going to be watching Mob Psycho? No, second season, right, Trey?
Mob Psycho 2.
Because we've already done number 1, and if you haven't seen that podcast, you should go check it out. And speaking of our YouTube channel, if you like this particular episode, please give us a like. And if you've earned your subscription, we'd love to have you. We look forward to seeing you next week. And Troy, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.